Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the info session about the Fast Track Information Technology programs. My name is Scotty. I am the coordinator of student success for workforce education. And we are joined by one of our great IT instructors, and I'm going to allow Justin to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Justin Mills. I am an instructor here at Jefferson State, and I have the pleasure of teaching the computer technician course here. And I'll be going over that course and then a few other offerings that we have. Please feel free to ask any questions, and if we don't know the answer, we'll definitely do some research and get it to you.
Thanks, Justin. So in this session, we're going to go over what workforce education does, what fast track programs are. We're going to go through each of the information technology fast track programs individually. And we will finish by talking about the financial assistance options and the application and registration process for these classes. So what is workforce education? We have two main goals. The first is providing members of our community with career training in high demand fields to provide them with immediate employment. And the second is meeting the workforce needs of our community. So we do this by having relationships with industry leaders in Central Alabama so that we understand what the workforce needs are. What are the positions that employers need filled? And what are the skills and certifications that individuals need in order to fill those positions? So the programs that we offer are based on information that we receive from those industry leaders. The content of the courses is based on what those industry leaders are telling us that they need their employees to understand. And we only offer programs based on that information. So if we have a program that employers are telling us that they're no longer hiring for or that is no longer useful, it's discontinued. And if employers come to us and say, we need employees with this particular set of skills, then we create a program designed to train people to have those skills. I want to talk a little bit about the difference between fast track programs and what would be considered traditional college coursework. So your traditional college courses are credit courses. That means that you are earning credits for each class toward a degree. Fast track programs are non-credit. That means that they are standalone courses that do not earn college credit toward a larger degree. With fast track courses, you are working towards preparing for a specific skill or industry recognized credential. It's just important that people understand that. What I like to emphasize is that this is not a or situation. This can be an and situation. So you can be enrolled in credit courses working toward an associate's degree and take a fast track program to upskill yourself in that particular field. One of the examples that I like to give is if you're working toward a computer information systems degree, maybe you want to take one of these fast track programs and get a certification in an IT field as well. So what is non-credit career training? They're short-term programs. Some of our courses are as short as 6 weeks, and some are as long as 26 weeks. They are skills-driven, meaning that the curriculum for the course is based on giving students the necessary skills and knowledge that they need to be successful in that career. These programs only require a high school degree, a high school diploma or GED. So in order to enter non-credit classes, there are no testing requirements for the classes. There may be test requirements for certain scholarships, but that's only for those scholarships, not for the actual program itself. Our programs have open enrollment, which means that classes are starting all the time. We don't follow the traditional semester or quarter schedule. So classes are just available based on the need and the availability for that class to be offered. So if there's a course you're interested in, you would check our website to see what the upcoming class date would be. And last is that these are college level courses and they are taught by industry professionals. So I say this to say that you shouldn't consider a fast track program to be easier than a college level course because they are college level courses and they need to be given the same dedication and commitment that you would for credit courses. Some of the results of fast track training is a certificate of completion from Jefferson State Community College. You have the opportunity to take certification exams for some of these programs so that you have those certifications you can put on your resume when you're applying for jobs. And last is the prospect of gaining a great job in a hiring field in a career that is in demand. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mills and let him talk a little bit about each of the information technology programs.
Definitely stop me if you have any questions. This is going to be a very high-level overview of the courses that we're offering. And I'll start with our first course, and this is the course, again, that I teach, which is the computer technician course. The goal is that students are learning how to work with PCs, understanding the peripherals around a PC, and then a little bit of networking and security. But the ultimate goal is to get the CompTIA A+ certification after taking this course. So a lot of what we do is go through CompTIA's objectives, and we kind of just go from scratch where we're taking a PC, we're going through it, we're removing all of the components, we are putting the PC back together, we're installing an operating system, we're understanding how printers and other devices hook up to it, and then how we put that PC on a network, and to a small degree, how we secure it. So this particular certification is great for individuals that want to start in the IT field, but they don't necessarily know where they want to ultimately end up in the field. This is a great way to expose them to a lot of different areas, and then they can kind of decide which direction they want to go in once they finish with this course. So that actually is a great segue into the next course, which is the cybersecurity course also. Now, this particular course is kind of a subset of the A+ course in the sense that you get introduced to the security principles in A+, but cybersecurity takes it several steps forward. You're understanding how data is transferred in and out of a PC and how you would be able to, what methods you would use to make sure that that data is encrypted. Everything revolves around the CIA method, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So when you keep those three concepts in mind, everything you do in cybersecurity is about making sure all three of those are present and accounted for at all times. So this is a great course to take right after the A+ course that we offer here. The next course, this is going to be the data analytics and visualization Power BI course. Now, this particular course allows you to understand how data is actually collected, and then how it's going to be set up so that you can start to get some trends and understand and be able to make some analysis of the big data that you have. So you're really using a lot of databases, whether it's Microsoft Access, whether it's a MySQL, or you're using some of the other databases that are out there, or just a large database format where you have even an Excel file. So you're going to input all of that information, that raw data, and then you'll be able to use Power BI to kind of go through each section, and then you can start to make some analysis of what this data is telling you and what decisions you can make from that data. So this is very useful in the field. This leads to other type of data analytics like big data. Companies really need this because they have so much data and they're getting so much metadata as we start to get more and more items and products out here that companies need to make fast decisions, but they need data points in order to back up those decisions and know what direction they're going in. So Power BI is a great way to understand that data and then be able to visually show that to companies and decision makers. Next up, we have the full stack web development. Now, this course is about understanding how to create and work with web pages. Sorry. You're understanding some of the codes that are used on a web page. where it's HTML, hypertext markup language, that deals with the content and structure of a website. Whether you're using CSS, which is the cascading style sheets, those two work together to work with the display, the design, and of course the content and structure. And then you're using programs like JavaScript to really add some interactive element to your website. So websites some can be static, but a lot of your eye-popping websites are very dynamic. So they're using several different codes and several different processes to make up that dynamic web page. So students are able to understand what those components are, and then they're armed with the information that they need to be able to create dynamic websites for any company or even themselves that they so choose. Next up, we have the IT Help Desk with Google IT Support Desk. This is interesting because this is a necessary skill that's not necessarily brought to the forefront, but that employers are really, really looking for. The background of this course is kind of how you're working with technology. It may be PCs, it may be phones, it may be tablets. You're just working with technology, but that's kind of the what. The real why of this course is, how do I interact with customers? What are some of the soft skills I need? What are some of the people skills that I need? Active listening, understanding what the real problem is, having empathy for customers. You get a lot of those soft skills in this course, and that allows you to be able to solve the underlying problem of whatever technological issue that your customer is having. And this is something that's not necessarily taught per se, but as students are introduced to it and they're able to understand that they're important, their emotional intelligence increases, and employers are definitely saying that that's a skill that they would love for students to have coming out of a program. So definitely we want to hear that, and we want to be able to improve that as we go. And finally, I think there's the Python program. Now, Python is an older language, but it's actually made more of a comeback in recent years. A lot of the things you find with items like Internet of Things or IoT, and basically what that means is that you have more devices online than just a PC or a phone or a tablet. Your refrigerator's online these days. Your stove is online. Your security system is online. So Python is a very, very friendly code that allows programmers to be able to not only build websites, but be able to build code that those Internet of Things devices can interact with and send that data to cloud programs. This works very well with programs like AWS and Microsoft Azure, where you can build a cloud infrastructure that can use Python to read and understand the data coming from those IoT devices and be able to make decisions in almost real time. So if a device is malfunctioning, you'll be notified. If there is an influx of users, an influx of data, whatever the case may be, you're able to understand this in near real time and be able to make decisions based on that. So Python has become even more important now than over previous years because it's integrated so much with cloud computing at this point. So with that, back to you, Scotty.
Thanks, Justin. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about scholarships and financial assistance options for these programs. So it's important to know that traditional funding is not available for non-credit classes. So the federal financial aid, or FAFSA, can't be used for non-credit classes. It's exclusive for credit classes toward a degree. But we do have a variety of other scholarships through partners that provide career training. And so a couple of them that we have, one is WIOA, and that is through your local career center. And the purpose for it is to help individuals who are unemployed or underemployed gain gainful employment and rejoin the workforce. Another one is career pathways, and that's through the Office of Adult Education here at Jeff State. There is an online form that you do. You attend orientation. There is some entrance testing to be eligible for that program. And then they will provide a scholarship for you to pursue one of the fast track courses. We also have Connect to Your Future, or CAP to Youth. And it is for out of school youth between the ages of 16 and 24. And there are specific programs that they will fund for fast track. You also get success coaching along the way and a lot of support through that program that typical students that are community students don't get. So it's a fantastic resource for individuals who qualify for that program. And lastly, there are other scholarships that we get that just come up. One example is the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham. They are doing an IT in demand training grant and paying for scholarships for students to take IT classes. And that's not one that we always have. It's a limited fund scholarship, but we are always getting other ones. So I recommend that when you're ready to enroll, reach out to our office and see what options are available. And lastly, another funding option is what we call pay as you go. And it splits the course fee for the class into 3 equal fees so that you can space them out and not have to pay them all at one time. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the application and registration process. I'm not going to go into huge detail on them, but I will say that there's essentially 4 steps for the application and registration process. You submit your application for fast track programs. You register for your course. That may be self-registering or it may be applying for the scholarships. And depending on what scholarship you have, you will be registered for the class once you're approved. Last is your course fee being submitted, either by self-paying or your scholarship covering it. And then your class starts. And that's basically it. And I will wrap up by pointing out that this is how you can get in contact with us: our phone number, our email, and our website. So thank you for joining us, and I'm going to stop recording now.